Coastal homecoming for Jim Schlossnagle, who for 3 years was the head coach at A&M. They thought he would be their savior, but in the eyes of the 12th man, he has gone from savior to Satan and welcomed roundly as he brought out the lineup card tonight, just as you would expect from one of the most passionate fan bases in all of college baseball and one of the best rivalries in all of sports. It's Texas and Texas A&M. Welcome, everybody. Tom Hart, Chris Burke, Kyle Peterson. The players in this game are going to have to deal with something that they're not used to, at least not on this level. How do they manage the emotions of this packed house and this rowdy crowd?
Well, I think you embrace it to start. I mean, we got here at 9:15 this morning, and there were tents outside. A couple of them have been sleeping here since Wednesday. When Texas went out to take batting practice, the entire A&M student section was already here. It's one of the great rivalries in college sports, whatever sport it is, but it does take on a little bit different meaning tonight.
And as they saw varsity's horns here at Olsen Field, we get a chance to see, Chris Burke, not just this atmosphere, the attention towards a former head coach, but plenty of talent.
Yeah, we got real dudes on both sides of the ball, and it's a whole bunch of slug when you put these two teams together. Carson Tenney from Notre Dame, the catcher, is as explosive as a hitter as there is in the league. Aiden Robbins, the straw that stirs the drink for this Longhorn group, and he plays a top-shelf center field. For the Aggies, Gavin Grahovac has made his comeback after missing last season, 23 home runs as a freshman. He's been on a heater, 7 home runs in his last 7 games. And Caden Sorrell, the silky smooth center fielder, leads the SEC in homers and ribbies. Tommy, we got some serious slug in this ball game tonight.
Well, it'll be a fun one because 5 of these players are projected to be top 2-round picks in July's MLB draft. And meanwhile, Texas, a team that got off to a 16-0 start this season, puts together this lineup, 4th in the SEC in average, and Anthony Pack batting cleanup is riding a 6-game hit streak. They get to face a fiery left-hander on the mound in Shane Sadeo for Texas A&M tonight.
Yeah, and it's a guy that fills the strike zone up. Sadeo missed last year, was primarily a reliever, honestly, before that, but this year has stepped into the starting role every weekend so far this year. He throws a ton of strikes, but he's got to keep it in the ballpark. 4 SEC starts up to this point. He's given up 7 home runs, gave up 4 in his last start against Vanderbilt. This is not as powerful a Texas offense as you'll see with Vanderbilt, but still have the ability to run it out.
And so here we go. In a series that dates to 1903, the ballpark tonight will have more energy than maybe ever before. And Schlossnagle was here as a hated rival before, and he was with TCU. But this one a little bit different as Ethan Mendoza stands in to get things started. 8 home runs and 31 driven in for Mendoza. And Sadeo delivers a strike. You get the feeling talking to these coaching staffs that Shane Sadeo is going to be pitching with a little bit more juice tonight than he's shown.
Well, they're hoping that he is able to answer the moment because it hasn't been great, especially in league play. But boy, do they believe in his ability to get it done.
Shallow right. Jorian Wilson makes the catch as he gets to start in right field for A&M tonight. All right, so I kind of asked you the same question a second ago, Kyle, but as a pitcher, how do you keep your emotions in check in this one, or do you embrace it?
Well, I mean, I think you embrace them, but you can't get in a hurry. That's one of the things that happens sometimes. You get too excited, you get in a hurry to home plate, fastball gets elevated, and then home run count goes up. But Sadeo's pitched in plenty of big games. It's been a while, one of maybe this big a magnitude, but he's been out there.
And here's Carson Tenney, the Notre Dame transfer, was asked about the biggest rivalry he's been a part of, and he just kind of shrugged this week. The junior from Castle Pines, Colorado, said, baseball, Notre Dame, rivalry? Nah, maybe in football with Notre Dame USC, but this will be an atmosphere that will be fairly new to Tenney. And he came in with plenty of accolades and expectations.
Yeah, highly coveted, one of the best offensive, really players, but certainly catchers in the country last year. You can see how just physical he is, the way he fills up that uniform in that batter's box. He impacts the ball as hard as any hitter in the country, leads the SEC in 90 percentile exit velocity, which means basically the top 10% of all his hardest hit balls are harder than anybody else in the league.
And he didn't get cheated on that swing. 6'4", 240.
also has 5 homers in his last 6 games, and Schloss just feels like he's just now settling in to being comfortable with the expectations on him being the catcher at Texas.
Homer 3 times in the South Carolina series last week and rifles this one down the right field line. Wow. Foul. Man.
He wasn't fouled by much.
The wind is going pole to pole from right to left. It's swirling down on field level around home plate, but if anything's going to carry, it will be from the scoreboard to the left field corner.
Yeah, we didn't see a whole lot of home runs in BP out to right center field. And anything that was carrying was going the other way.
And the 2-2 misses low. Takes a count full. Ninth start of the season for Sadeo.
The take.
Just missed the zone of home plate umpire Jason Bradley.
Yeah, it's a great take, and it's something we'll probably say a lot in this series. Both these teams very discerning coaching staffs that really work hard on swing decisions. 2 of the top 3 teams in the league in walks.
Jim Schlossnagle's offensive approach hasn't changed over the years. They are second in the country in pitches seen per plate appearance, just a tick over 4. And here's Aiden Robbins. They are running just a little bit more than last few teams have under Jim Schlossnagle, kind of harkening back to his TCU days. 1-0 to Robbins.
And they're running at a high percentage, too. They're 61 of 69 this year in stolen bases.
Less swing and miss on this year's team, and more athleticism from the offense Schloss put on the field last year.
And the 1-1 missed upstairs.
Robbins has feasted on left-handers this year coming into the game. 1389 OPS. He's hit 6 homers and 34 bats against lefties on the season.
Transferred in from Seton Hall, spent a couple of seasons with the Pirates as he fouls this one back.
It is a violent swing. Some guys you don't need like bat speed metrics to know that, that they swing a little different.
Just watch the finish.
Yes. Looks like he breaks his back on his follow through.
And he went to the delight of the 12th man, and Robbins becomes the first strikeout victim of the night.
Similar pitch that Tinney laid off 3-2. You're going to see Sadeo throw a lot more sliders, and they almost look like a changeup when they come in, but he utilizes it as a changeup sometimes. Starts it in the outside part. It has good downward action when it gets to home plate, and that bat goes just far enough for Aiden Robbins. First strikeout of the game for Shane Sadeo.
So here's the hottest hitter in the Longhorn order. It's Anthony Pack Jr. He's a true freshman from outside of Long Beach, California. He's hitting 11 for his last 24. That covers a 6-game hit streak. And had a monster series on the road at South Carolina, where he went 8 for 11 with 2 doubles, a couple of walks, and 2 stolen bases in as many attempts. Quick one over to first. Up and in, 2-0. And that one's sliced foul. Sadeo's last start came home against Vandy, allowed 6 runs, 4 of them earned in 5 innings. His earned run total in 4 SEC starts have gone 4, 5, 7, and 4. While the strikeout numbers have been high, home runs have been an issue. Swing and a miss to take it to 2-2.
He is living with that fastball up too, and very, very intentionally. The misses have been just up and out of the zone. That last one at 93, but for the most part, that's where Cedeo's going to try to stay with that pitch.
20th pitch of the opening frame will wait another beat. Second throw over to Tinney. And the 2-2. And Pack staying alive. Cleanup hitter with 9 long balls, Berkey.
4.
Like I said, 4 long balls.
You meant 4. They sound alike. No, it's pretty interesting. A true freshman at that. But he's been their best hitter with runners in scoring position. It took Schloss a while to believe in it, but he has been that guy.
And a strikeout on pitch number 21. Back-to-back Ks for Cedeo. This place is lively. A&M coming to the plate. And we welcome those of you who watch Keegan Rothrock turn in her 3rd career no-hitter. Florida shuts out South Carolina. And this is a top 20 showdown between the 2nd-ranked Longhorns of Texas and the Aggies of Texas A&M. And the headline throughout the week, and something that's been much anticipated over the last year and a half, was the return of previous Texas A&M head coach Jim Schlossnagle. Longhorns and Aggies did battle last year in Austin, but he didn't get this kind of greeting when he brought the lineup card out. And to be expected, some horns down and some one-finger salutes from the 12th man, welcoming the guy that they thought was going to take them to promised land in 2 trips to Omaha and 3 seasons as the head Aggie, and now 2nd year at Texas, and a half inning in, we've already felt the emotion here in this ballpark.
It's going to be okay now the entire weekend, and we knew it would. I mean, I think when you saw last year, we were there for all 3 games in Austin, and it was pretty spicy there. When Schloss returns to a place that he had big-time success at in the 3 years, they circled that one here in College Station.
Rugo Riojas has the ball in his hand for Texas. He comes in at 5-1 with a 2.74 ERA, and he's got to navigate through one of the nation's best offensive lineups. Starts with Gavin Grahovac. This is an A&M offense which comes in 3rd in the SEC in average, top 5 in the country in on-base percentage, slugging, and home runs, and 6th in the country in run production for head coach Michael Early. And a very similar approach to what we see from Jim Schlossnagle's offensive attack in terms of patience and power.
Yeah, patiently aggressive. That's kind of their mantra. They are hunting their pitch. Both teams are as patient as anybody in the country, and that's reflected in their swing percentage and their walk totals. But boy, can both teams do damage, especially at the top of the order.
What do we expect from Rugo Riojas in this one?
Well, you're going to see a little bit of everything. You got to go back a long time. Think El Duque, guy that went out there and he felt like sometimes he was just creating arm angles and different pitches. Riojas legitimately will throw 7 different pitches from 2 different arm angles.
And that one's fouled off by Grahovac. Grahovac 5th in the SEC in RBI. He's driven in 41 on this season. He's 10th in the league in OPS, over 1,100. And the breaking ball's hammered to straightaway center field. Robbins is back and shy of the wall, hauls it in. A glimpse of what this A&M batting order can do.
Yeah, and just a rough night to hit the ball in the big part of the park. That ball's a homer and a whole bunch of ballparks on a whole bunch of nights, but not here, not tonight. Caden Sorrell in the 2-hole after Grahovac. You got to deal with 2 of the most potent bats in the league. Sorrell leads the league in homers and ribbies. And boy, Grahovac just missed putting a quick one on the board for the Aggies.
Sorrell is all over the national rankings as well. 7th in the country in home runs, 3rd in ribbies, and leads the SEC in slugging. And a first pitch fastball over the inside corner.
That last one in 97.
That was an easy 97. He didn't have that last year.
He did not have that last year. There's been a pretty good uptick in velocity this year, and the swing and miss has gotten better, but what has not changed is the control. That's probably even gotten better.
What a jump he has made.
Wow. Yeah, 3 miles an hour on the average fastball. That's just very, yeah, very uncommon. But when you talk to Max Wiener about just the work ethic and the consistency of his work habits, not to mention he just feels like he's got such an elite arm action that it all came together this fall.
Sorrell had a big series against Vandy last week, 2 home runs in the first game of the series. Junior from Highland Village, Texas, was limited due to health issues last year. Hamstring injury to his right hand. Only played in 26 games for the Aggies.
But figured out a way to hit 12 homers. He had 11 homers as a freshman, 12 as a sophomore. He's already got 16 this year as a junior. He is flying up draft boards. It's kind of seems to be a consensus top 20 pick at this point, as he's also proven to be very good in center field.
Preseason first team all SEC selection. Got the shift on for the lefty, and the 0-2's waved at. Well, why not a splitter to go with 98? That's complimentary.
When he goes off speed, especially to left-handers, this is what he likes the most, and that split he is real and very good, and he's going to pick his spots. After that point, it had been primarily fastball heavy. A lot of them elevated that time of the split to finish everything off. We've talked about Riojas. We've talked about the jump. The velo jump is real this year, but just the ability to control a ball game. I mean, the ERA is down 2.5 points from last year.
First pitch swinging, and a chopper handled by Mendoza. And just in time to get Jacoby. 1-2-3 frame worked by Riojas. We go to the second, no score. Well, this version of Olsen Field at Bluebell Park opened in 2012, and it is an absolute diamond. And they have jammed it full of maroon, and there's a little bit of burnt orange. And the fellas that braved the student section in burnt orange earned it.
Oh, man, that was fun before the game to watch just a couple of people venture into the Aggie student section in burnt orange. Now, there's a few more since, but early on, it wasn't exactly a warm welcome.
Texas has won 100 of the 173 games they played in the stadium, and the first pitch strike taken by Casey Borba. What's odd about how they used to do the series in Big 12 play, splitting up and playing one on Friday night and then rotating through the other 2, is that this is the first 3-game series between the 2 here at this ballpark since the early 90s. And of course, matched back up with each other last year as conference mates for the first time since A&M departed for the SEC.
When I read that, I felt like a misprint.
Yeah.
I mean, to think they haven't just played a true home and away series in that long, but pretty cool to I'm sure for these fan bases to now have that back as a yearly deal.
Both teams will shift with regularity, and so they got the shift down for the righty. And Corbett goes down swinging. 3 straight Ks for Shane Shadeo.
Yeah, 3 in a row, and all 3 have been on this one. It's that slider. It has really good down. That one, and he can manipulate it too. He can add a little bit more side to side. That had more side to side, trying to wrap it underneath the right-hander's foot. 3 straight strikeouts, all of them swinging.
Here's Temo Becerra, took his time coming to the plate. Stanford transfer, a couple trips to Omaha with the Cardinals. And seeing eye single right up the middle.
Well, Becerra has made that move to shortstop. With the injury to Adrian Rodriguez, they think, well, he was supposed to take ground balls today for the first time. And still not able to swing the bat. They're thinking another 2 to 3 weeks till he's full speed, but Becerra's done a good job of holding down the fort.
So part of all that shifting means Ashton Larson is now starting at first base. And here's Larson, the LSU transfer. Takes a fastball upstairs, 1-0. Jim Schlossnagle talked about that injury and some of his guys who are slumping, and he said it's not about just a single game. It's about us being at our best in weeks to come.
Well, it's nice to have the depth that Texas has. I know in today's modern college baseball, nobody's crazy deep, but the fact that you do lose a player like Rodriguez and you can shuffle the deck and still be this talented, and you have players capable of moving around. Borba played third base for him last year. He goes from Becerra, obviously played short at Stanford. So I don't think there's a ton of teams that could lose their starting shortstop and be as covered as Texas is right now.
Becerra's got 6 bags in 6 attempts as Larson spoils another.
If I was Larson, I would be very aware of that slider right now. Cedillo seems like he's got the A+ one, and if you get jammed on a fastball in, you get jammed on a fastball in. But that breaking ball and that look where he's all the way on the first base side, KP, that is a tough matchup for a lefty.
And Larson has struggled against lefties this year. He's 133 points lower in batting average against lefties than he is against righties.
It's interesting that Cedillo is actually giving up a higher OPS versus lefties, because when you see him on that side of the mound with the slider he's got going tonight, that feels like a very tall task for left-handers.
A&M, an elite defensive team, 16th in the country in fielding percentage, but only 13 double plays turned. That is 10 fewer than their opponents. KP, how does Cedillo put his recent struggles, not just against Vandy, but in league play, behind him in this game tonight?
I think the biggest thing that you got to try to do is not be afraid of the bat right away and not fall behind. I mean, a lot of times home runs happen in positive hitter counts.
And Larson skies it to left. Terrence Keel, the second, handles it, 2 down.
Attack mode still has to be there too. Berkey hit on it just a minute ago, but it's early. There's been 5 outs in the game. It would seem that he's really going to lean on the slider. He was throwing it backdoor to right-handers. Now here, I think he threw at least 4 in that at bat to Larson there, left on left. So that's the biggest thing, is from a confidence standpoint, find one that you feel like you can ride and then see where you can mix everything else in.
Jaden Duplantier, and he swings at the first. This one will not reach the seats. Brought right back into the field of play and handled by Grahovac. No runs, a hit. 1 left on. Bottom of the second, around the corner. Scoreless in College Station.
They were winning.
Top 20 showdown, and there's a lot of highlights in the history of these two teams who first met in 1903. Texas leads their overall series and swept last year, but all 3 were 1-run games, and in all 3, A&M had opportunities in their last at bat to try to win it. Jim Schlossnagle had to deal with the emotions last year leading into that series. We asked him this morning when we met with him, will it be weird? Of course it will.
Yeah. I'm not going to run from it.
Michael Early is the head coach for Texas A&M. He was the hitting coach for Jim Schlossnagle when he came over from Arizona State. And he is in year 2 as the head man here in Aggieland, revamped what his duties are to get back to what he does well, and that's hitting.
Pretty fascinating just how honest he was with us about how he recognized pretty quickly last year that he had gotten away from his strength as a coach because he just felt like as the head coach he should be managing more things, and he made that switch very quickly. As soon as they got to the offseason, he added Chad Pennington, a former Aggie great, to handle the infield defense, the base running. He could just lock in on the hitters and outfield defense.
2-1 to Jake Dewar.
Cliff Pennington, excuse me. Chad was a good quarterback, though.
He was.
That's right.
More different colors, but yeah.
Cliff could probably play. He'd probably a dual threat QB back in his day.
I think Cliff could do probably about everything in high school.
I don't know if Cliff had Randy Moss to throw to, though. Outfield shading opposite way for the lefty Jake Dewar, transferred in from Florida Atlantic. And a fastball at 96. Misses high. How does that increased velocity impact the other pitches that Rio Haas features?
I think it specifically makes the split better. There's a little bit more torque to it. It adds a little bit more down to it. Obviously, the reaction time changes for everything.
And the high fastball is chopped the other way for A&M's first hit. Bobbled in left field by Pack before the recovery. Leadoff single for Jake Dewar.
And that is why he's here. They went and got Jake Dewar out of Florida Atlantic, where he hit .428 last season because of the insane bat-to-ball skills. And that would qualify there, KP. A fastball out of the zone about shoulder high.
At 96.
At 96, and he tops it to the backside. Just a very unique hitter, not crazy toolsy, and a little outside the box for this Aggie lineup, but they love the change of pace he gives them.
First hit of the game for A&M. And Nico Partita looks at the first offering low and away.
It's the first time today that angle has changed for Rio Haas on the mound, and you'll see there's no rhyme or reason to it. You see it multiple times during the course of this game.
OPS over 1,000 for the freshman.
Part of the story of this Aggie team is the length of their lineup and the freshmen that are starring towards the bottom of this lineup. Partita, Jorian Wilson, Boston Kellner, just some young players that have really arrived with a splash here early in their careers.
And if you're into preseason accolades, Partita was named by Baseball America on their Freshman of the Year watch list. He was a 3-time first-team All-State performer out of Manville, Texas, Pearland High School. Played for Team USA, 24. And get ready if this one misses the zone for ball 5. It does, and this is the best thing Bluebell Park does. 2 on, nobody out, and this. Terrence Keel the second. And Keel pushes the bunt to the right side. Riojas gets the lead runner.
There's one way to quiet him down. This is not an A&M team that does this very much, and he showed so late. I think he was bunting for a hit. It definitely wasn't a typical sack approach. Riojas is an outstanding athlete. And in this one, you're not thinking easy out. You're thinking how hard is it bunted and where is it?
And is he pushing it to the right side, KP?
It didn't. He showed really late. It didn't feel like it was a true sack. And the other thing is you push him to the right side. Riojas is falling that way anyway. It makes for a much easier play on the mound.
Jorian Wilson wasn't ready for the first pitch, so Jason Bradley assigns a strike. Big moment for a true freshman and a big true freshman. 6'4", 240. And Wilson's got a 10-game streak going coming into this at bat.
Well, two things on that last play. First of all, Keel, you got to bunt that ball to third base, first and second. But Riojas, that is, I mean, I know that ball is bunted hard. There's not a ton of pitchers that are that confident to spin and throw a strike the way he did. I mean, he clearly very comfortable as a fielder, high school shortstop.
Berkey, what do you like about Jorian Wilson?
Well, I tell you, it's a pretty mature approach. Like, what I like about it is how they've coached him to and allowed him to not be overly selective. He's so talented that they're letting him swing, one of the highest swing rates on the team. But the damage has been, I mean, 6 homers and 12 ribbies in a short period of time. The damage has been incredible.
And he takes it in the dirt, 3-1. The Vandy series, he started all 3, went 5 for 10. Homered in that one in his last 10 games, carrying a .455 average on that 10-game hit streak.
And this is as conference play. I mean, you essentially didn't get to play much. You only got 54 at bats, so they gave a lot of people a chance. He's emerged as the guy, and boy, is he's blossoming into a star.
He was a college football recruit before he chose baseball, and he takes a breaking ball for his strike.
Uncommitted till after his junior summer.
That guy knows what great defensive ends look like.
Yeah. Coach Elko's to the double take when he first saw Jorian Wilson.
Freshman? That's a freshman?
What?
Pushed foul, staying alive at 3-2.
Hallettsville, Texas. Population 2,700.
Michael Early said he thinks he might be one of the last true diamonds in the rough. Like, he's like, I cannot believe that we found this kid that late.
Didn't play on the summer circuit. He was busy with football, played some high school baseball, and he fouls off another. Heads up.
Well, and this is kind of the stuff you asked what you like about him. The maturity to approach like this. On 3-2, most freshmen would be swinging, you know, as soon as his hand came forward. You could tell he is in there still battling, understanding that Riojas is the type of guy that can throw the kitchen sink at you, even in a full count.
7th pitch of the at-bat.
It's 96 and 98, back-to-back pitches that he took right out of Tinney's glove.
I mean, that was almost catcher's interference. He hit that one so late.
What a scene here in Aggie land. Martina the runner at second, Keel at first. Swing and a miss as he pulled the string on him. Strikeout number 2 for Riojas.
Went back to the split. I mean, that's welcome to SEC baseball right there. You go 96, 98, foul him off, and then that last split at 86 miles an hour. Maybe a little bit more elevated if you could pick a spot, but the velocity difference and then just enough movement down and away from the barrel to get it off the bat.
To aboard for Bear Harrison, A&M catcher. Tugged the fastball, 1-0. Harrison is 3rd in the league in on-base percentage, partially because he's 2nd in the SEC in hit by pitches.
We talk about the length of the lineup, Tommy. I mean, you got a guy down there at the bottom of the lineup with an over 1,100 OPS in the 8-hole. As you said, the incredibly high on base percentage, and oh, by the way, the sluggers are right around the corner. It's just an A&M offense that really makes you work 1 through 9.
That OPS is top 10 in the SEC. Takes to take it to 1-2. What's Riojas deliver here?
He seems to like the split a whole lot right now, but late he's gone elevated fastball, and that's where he's bumped it up to his highest velocities too.
Little tapper up the line and will trickle foul.
First cutter there, KP. We haven't seen a lot of
At
those.
90.
Yeah.
And sometimes that slider and that cutter kind of go together with similar shapes, but plus count, that one, you're not trying to place that. That's thrown with maximum effort right there, and it had a good late break, a good job just to stay alive by Harrison.
Riojas only needed 11 pitches in the opening frame. He's already sitting at 25 pitches in this inning. Texas pitching staff is legit, second in the country in ERA, leading the country in WHIP.
Yeah, there's velocity up and down. They got different looks. Guys, they can throw from both sides. And then Max Wiener, who's one of the best in the business, has put together another world-class staff.
He is a creative mind, and he instills that in his pitchers. And it goes hand in hand with the kitchen sink that Riojas has at his disposal.
Yeah, and he just raved about the offseason that Riojas had. And first and foremost, and we've already seen it, just how good of an athlete he is, but ultimately how well he understands the way that his body moves and the arm action and everything else. And that offseason workout program, and it's not just throwing weighted balls every day, but has really changed his stuff here in his 4th year in college baseball.
So on for the Aggies.
You know, Riojas very well might throw up a 0 this inning, but the Aggie offense has certainly taken a piece with him. This has been a high labor frame for the Texas right-hander, and whether Bear Harrison wins this AB or not, they have really forced Riojas into some high leverage pitches here early in the ball game.
And he hammers a breaking ball, but the ball just won't travel in this one. And Pack puts it away. Aggies miss an opportunity. No runs and 1 hit. A couple left on. Ahead of the 3rd. All right, Alyssa. True or false, Alyssa Lang owns a Chad Pennington jersey, just so you know. Okay. So she appreciates your misspeak. Who's the class of the league?
Series win. I mean, a sweep at the new dude is probably
absolutely.
I don't know that anybody will have a louder weekend than they had, but I still think Texas is the most complete team.
Here's Josh Livingston at the plate to lead off the inning for the Longhorns, and he pops one up down the left field line. Partita gives it a go, but
you know what will get interesting this year is we're so used to seeing 6 SEC hosts, 7 SEC hosts, whatever the number is. But the last 5-6 years, there haven't been that many West Coast hosts. This year, there could be 3 potentially, which then obviously just takes away those from conferences that have had more lately. So the West Coast in general being better this year could affect the number of hosts that you get out of this league.
UCLA, USC, Oregon State,
Oregon.
0-2 on the way.
It's been good tonight. That's first turn through the order. Sadeo's punched out 4, and I think all of them have been on that slider right there. All have been swinging. But you talked about it, Berkey, where he sets up on that side of the road. So all the way over towards the first base. It just for that slider, it looks like it's coming all the way back behind a left-hander's back, and then he has the ability to create more side to side, so really run it off the plate and away from that barrel.
4th strikeout of the game for Sadeo, and here's Ethan Mendoza. Mendoza flew out to right field his first time up. Hasn't been smooth sailing all the way through for the Arizona State transfer. He suffered through a slump earlier this season. We went 5 for 37. And so Troy Tulowitzki made a slight suggestion, an adjustment for him, and this one's hooked foul down the left field line. And so we're going to move you up in the batter's box a little bit. He said he was just being spammed with off-speed pitches. All of them were low, so you move up in the box a little bit if you can get a high variety of them, and that brings the pitch up a little bit.
Yeah, the old adage, catch it before it breaks. Good usage of spam. We've been hanging out with the teenagers a lot. I can dig it.
Usually my terminology is sus, but I think I'm turning it around. During that slump, during that slump, they showed great confidence in Mendoza. They kept him in the leadoff spot the entire time.
Well, you know, the old West Coast term was box adjust, right? And you say, okay, don't be afraid to move in the box. And Kyle, you know this. There's a cat and mouse game that can be played when you see a hitter that is in a distinct position in the batter's box.
Especially if it changes during an at-bat.
If he moves in an at-bat, if he moves from an at-bat to an at-bat. But, you know, not being afraid to move is part of the game.
Ooh. 95 off the equipment.
Aggie fans think it hit his bat.
But it's the guy in the hot dog outfit thing.
Let's ask him.
You're still looking for the guy who did it.
He's not sure.
That's quite a combo there.
He's looking for some catch-up. Hit right in the back. That's where that hand pad. I mean, we've thought of a pad for just about everything these days. Wow, did that come in useful right there? I mean, that's the type of.
He wouldn't have that look on his face
no.
if the hand pad wasn't there. A little different.
So here's Carson Tinney at the plate. He was a finalist for the Buster Posey Award as the best college catcher in the game last year with the Fighting Irish. First team All-America, first team ACC, led the team in average, home runs, RBI, on base, slugging, just about everything.
Well, and I think, Tommy, in today's game, this is incredibly highly valued by professional baseball. He hits the ball as hard as anybody in the sport. I mean, it's like you remember Bear Jones from last year at LSU. I mean, it is world-class exit velocities when he runs into one, and the contact has improved. So it's you know, the chase is down, the contact is up, so he's making better swing decisions. Now, he hadn't quite gotten red hot, but it certainly has felt like the last couple weeks he's about to really do it. Last week at South Carolina, he hit 4 homers, and as Slaw said today, it just feels like he's settling in to become the star that they know he's capable of being.
And those 4 home runs came after game 1 where he went 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts.
We heard Schloss references a few different times today about different guys of how long will it take somebody to feel comfortable at Texas with everything else that comes with it, the expectations, the history of the program. And I think it's realistic that regardless of how good you were last year, it's going to take a little bit.
Yeah, as prestigious of a university as Notre Dame is, and of course, you know, they invest in baseball and are trying to put a great team on the field every year too. Playing at Texas is different, totally different animal.
A hit by pitch, followed by the second walk of the game from Sadeo, and the Longhorns trying to get something cooking here in the 3rd.
And you got to really admire a guy that's as talented as Tinney. Already now 2 walks in the game, and just not going out there in an environment like this and trying to do too much.
And that brings Aiden Robbins, a 3-hole hitter, to the plate. He struck out his first time up. Overall, this series, is it fair just to summarize it as being the Texas pitching versus the A&M offense?
I think it'd be easy. Yeah, it'd be easy to summarize if you were saying, okay, what's the most glaring strength of each team? That would be the headline.
And as great as the Longhorn pitching has been, it's overshadowed a very good offense, and that one's dumped into center field. Nolan Cain will stop the lead runner, and Texas has him loaded.
I don't know what you guys thought, but I really felt like this was a pretty easy read by Mendoza, KP. Maybe one where you just pause for a half a second and then let the ball fall, but he ended up running all the way back to the base right here. Watch, Mendoza gets his secondary. It's one thing to pause a little bit. He's running backwards on a ball that it just never felt like had a chance to be caught.
I think the only thing is it was right at hook open, so he didn't have to range right or left to get there. Maybe he thought because of that he had a chance to get there.
And we'll get an early visit to Sadeo after the hit by pitch, the walk, and then the single.
And Jason Kelly out right now, and I think some of this is don't let that one fool you. Like that's where we wanted to throw the pitch.
Yeah.
It was 93 elevated. If he's swinging a wood bat, it's not getting out of the infield. But sometimes, especially because the first 4 starts in the league this year have not been great for Sadeo, this is probably a little pump-up session. Like, let's not get away from what we're doing. Throwing the ball just fine.
I mean, such a big part of depth in this, of being able to go deep in this league, is avoiding the big inning. And it's moments like this where you're kind of at a breaking point, and if you make a couple pitches, you post to 0 or give up 1, and it's no big deal. But if you try to get too fine and end up turning a bad inning to worse, this team could put a 4 spot on you in a heartbeat.
Anthony Pack Jr. with a huge opportunity for Texas. And he skies it to right field. Wilson's got a cannon for an arm. And they're going to test it. The throw comes in wide. And good hustle to back it up as Sadeo was there.
This is a little bit of the learning curve from young Mr. Wilson. This was, you're not going to throw him out at home.
Right.
So you'd love to just come up and throw that ball to third. And he threw that ball to neither. He comes up.
Watch how many people take off running.
Yeah, like where?
Okay, we got 1.
What?
You're going to see 2 more come into the frame. It held the base runner. The base runner didn't go anywhere, and you were going to throw him out at home. But yeah, probably one that just take it straight to third.
50th pitch of the game for Sadeo.
Can I just say that's too why Schloss loves Anthony Pack Jr. in the cleanup spot. Like, that's just a low heartbeat, high baseball IQ at bat. Go up there, sit on a breaking ball.
Who's a freshman?
Sit on a breaking ball, get the run in, and let's get us on the board.
A&M has a similar approach out of the cleanup spot right now. We saw LSU last weekend with Curriel getting moved from the leadoff spot to the cleanup spot. You see people looking at the way that they set their batting order up a little bit different, a lot different than they did 10, 15 years ago.
Casey Borba watches that one miss low. Borba struck out his first time up. And a big cut to take it to 2-2. He's one of the most likely strikeout victims in the SEC. Came in 7th in the league in strikeouts. He's K'd 40 times this year. Didn't go. Seth Buckminster down the first base line.
Well, this is the one we've seen Texas. Yep. This is the one they're struggling to make the swing decision on. Is this a ball? Is this a strike? You got to be able to put on the brakes. And boy, that is right up against it. Nice job there by Borba, putting on the brakes just in time.
He's hitting .400 against lefties this year. And to pay off. Second time he's K'd tonight, but Texas strikes first. A sac fly from Anthony Pack Jr. And when we return, we'll talk with the former Aggie-led head man and now the leader of the Longhorns, Jim Schlossnagle. Good reason it's a rivalry matchup with a little extra juice tonight as Jim Schlossnagle returns to Bluebell Park. What are the emotions like for you this afternoon and this evening?
Yeah, good. I mean, it's good to be back in College Station. I really enjoyed my time here, and being a part of this rivalry is awesome.
Coach, we talked a lot about your star transfers. Of course, you guys won the league last year, had an awesome season, but added some pieces this year. What are those two guys, Robbins and Tenney, meant to this club?
Yeah, just some real hitters. I mean, real offensive players that can impact the game with one swing. Tenney's a really good defender. Robbins is getting better, but just guys with a lot of track record and, just give some impact to our lineup.
So, second year at Texas, and the offensive approach seems to be the offensive approach that you want this year more, and I think we saw it in the last inning. You got a freshman hitting fourth that just did his job right there. What led you to get him in that spot?
I hope he sees this right here.
It.
He does not, and
Wow.
It drops inside the line. It will trickle all the way into the corner, and Boston Kellner still running, will end up at third.
Just add this to the list, boys.
Yeah, I knew that was coming. Sorry. It's Hart's fault.
Yeah, blame me.
Boy, it's that twilight, Schloss. This is that time of night when it happens.
Yeah, it's tough.
You see, Duplantier never saw that.
Schloss, thanks for your time. I'll let you get back to coaching.
Thanks.
It's a helpless feeling out there because you can't. There's no middle guy that can even help you, right? The infielders can't really help you. That ball is so far out on an island, and Jade Duplantier just had no chance to find that baseball.
And that's, first time playing at the ballpark. It's a tough time of night anyway. Probably never seen a ball like that in this park.
So Kellner 90 feet away from tying this game, and big boppers up for A&M, starting with Gavin Grhoback. And he smokes it to left center field. Kellner could moonwalk home. Grhoback looking for two, and he will go in feet first with a run-scoring double. And the misplay comes back to bite the Longhorns.
Careful now. Gavin Grhoback starting to round into form nicely. A first pitch four-seamer that he is all ready for. 105-mile-an-hour rocket right up the middle. They're playing him a touch oppo, so that ball shoots the gap. He puts the gas pedal down, and the Aggies go triple-double to start here and respond to the Longhorns run in the top of the third.
Bubblicious third for A&M. Here's Caden Sorrell. Popped out of the mitt of Tenney, and an easy extra 90 for Grhoback. Jim Schlossnagle knows how tough a ballpark this is to play in and how the 12th man can impact.
They can impact it, and now you got an offense, and a part of this offense that can really impact the baseball too.
1-0 to one of the most dangerous hitters in the game. "16 home runs, 7th most in the country. His 52 ribbies, 3rd most in college baseball."
What a pitch. Boy, that can't be. 89-mile-an-hour cutter right under the hands of Sorrell in a swing count.
That's what makes him so good, is you can't go back and say, okay, in this count, we're going to get this. He's got the ability to throw 3, sometimes 4 with confidence in any count.
Chopper to second. That'll get another run home. And the Aggies have their first lead of this game.
Play the game. And they got some help from I don't play. That pass ball advanced him to third base, but then Sorrell with that infield playing back, especially deep on the pull side. Gets a curveball, which hasn't thrown too many so far today, but a curveball to give the Ags a lead.
This is Chris Hakopian at the plate. And he chops at the first. Becerra has it, and the throw is a hair low, but good for the second out.
2 at-bats. He's seen 2 pitches, both of them beat right in the ground. Chris Hakopian, we've been waiting all day to say a bunch of nice things about him.
How patient he is.
A couple quick outs, and the transfer from Maryland hadn't stayed around very long tonight in his 2 plate appearances.
Here's Jake Dewar. 2 hits in the Vandy series last time out for A&M, but drew 5 walks. Tinney tried to bring that one back down. 1-0.
So just a good little trip down memory lane for Schloss. He was actually at TCU when Jake Dewar committed to TCU, which is where he played his first 2 years. And just never really played there, never got in the mix. Of course, that was back in the day of
8th graders.
Yeah, 8th graders, 9th graders committing early. But boy, he went to FAU and had a monster season last year.
Curveball in for a strike, 1-2. Dewar got off to a good start in league play. The Georgia series, he went 4 for 10. Had 4 hits in the Missouri series as well. 51st pitch of the night from Riojas.
Don't throw it there again. He already showed you what he does with that one.
Chopped one down the third base line for a double for a single first time up.
Move Borba over a little bit closer to third base on this one.
It's interesting because they clearly had that in their plan to attack Dewar up and out, thinking they can exploit him there. But he's been able to get the bat there a couple times already in this game.
Carson Tinney came in with a stellar reputation as a defensive catcher. That is a big target behind the plate. Pulled to the right side, handled cleanly by Mendoza. But that's not how the inning started. Boston Kellner started this inning with a fly ball to right field. Nothing routine in the twilight. Jaden Duplantier never saw it, couldn't find it. Kellner ends up with a leadoff triple, and then Gavin Grahovec smokes one to bring him home with a double. Grahovec scored a moment later on a Sorrell ground out, and Texas A&M has its first lead of the weekend with the bubbles flying. We'll talk with the head Aggie, Michael Early, when we return to Bryan College Station. Great traditions, Aggieland, home of the 12th man, and they're fired up for a rivalry that started in 1903. Michael Early is the head man for Texas A&M. You knew coming into this that emotions would be high, at least from the fan base. What did you tell your roster about how to handle the emotions this weekend?
Yeah, our main thing was we want to play with emotion, but don't be emotional. It's kind of like a storm, man. Everything around you is going crazy, but we're right here on the diamond in between the lines. You got to control yourself and just play pitch to pitch. And we've done that for the most part all year, so we want the crowd to be in our favor, not something that can speed us up.
Michael, I know Shane's been out there a lot on the weekend before. Obviously not last year, but before. But the SEC starts haven't been great this year. Today seems better. What have you seen?
You know, he's just in situations and counts where they can do damage or counts where you don't want him to do damage. He hasn't left it over the middle of the plate a lot. You know, he's getting to the spots we want to get him for each particular hitter. And, you know, we're still in here in the fourth, but so far he's put that, you know, for the most part where we wanted him to.
Michael, you guys obviously have a bunch of thump in your lineup, but Gavin Grohovac, after missing last year, seems to be really finding his way. What have you noticed about him the last couple weeks as he seems to be taking off?
I think the biggest thing, he's letting the ball travel, right? He just got some timing. And when you're that big and strong and you got a really tight turn like he does, you have the luxury of letting balls travel. When you let balls travel, you know, you can see different pitches, blanket, you know, a variety of pitch shapes, all while staying on a fastball.
Michael, thanks for the time. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
His Aggies have a 2-1 lead. Temo Becerra at the plate. And Becerra couldn't stop the swing.
All right, I'm going to let you kind of hitter geek out here.
Okay.
He's got a really tight turn.
Tight turn, yeah.
Get me through that.
I like the tight turn lingo. He also said blanket the zone, which I'm in on that lingo. Tight turn is just how quickly you can make that move and how connected you can keep your arms to your torso as you're making that turn. And so, you know, some guys are a little longer, a little looser with their paths. Some guys are super connected. And what he's saying about Grohovac is he doesn't have to get extension to produce power. So he can let the ball travel and make a really tight turn. So as he's learned to trust that, the pitch recognition's got better, and he's covering more pitches. He's blanketing the zone.
Just over the reach of Kellner at short, and Ashton Larson's got his first hit of the night.
And when you can make a really tight turn, you don't have to panic with 2 strikes either, because you feel like you can get to a fastball in if they do try to crowd you. So all those things working together. Plus, I don't think you can put an arrival time on a guy that essentially missed an entire season. Watch Grohovac make this tight turn here. Fastball out over the plate. It's just look, even that little hold-off finish. Very Troutish right there, and that little hold-off finish move. That's a strong dude now.
I think if you're a hitter and you get the term Troutish applied to you, that's a pretty good one. Jaden Duplantier at the plate now. Opportunity for redemption after his misplay in right field.
KP and I saw 2 of those last weekend in Knoxville. Left field at LSU, Chris Stanfield.
I just couldn't see it.
Twice he lost the ball, but both times the ball was to the gap. And so Curiel was able to point the ball out. He was able to find it and make the play. Duplantier not so fortunate.
Home run and 12 driven in for Duplantier. He's a senior from Humble, Texas. Last year 10 starts, but only hit a .163. He also made just as many starts as freshman year. From behind the plate will reach the seats, if not the roof. Number 2, Texas, 18th ranked Texas A&M. First of 3 this weekend.
Oh.
Larson only has 1 stolen base in the season.
All right, shorten his lead after that one. Good take.
Well, the scouting report for Duplantier describes a great feel for the strike zone. We're seeing it. 4th inning, Sadeo approaching the 70 pitch mark. He's gone over 100 pitches twice this year. Low scoring game favors which side?
Feels like it favors Texas.
I would, just because of the bullpen. Yeah, I agree.
Better bullpen, more familiarity with that.
Off the cap. Shuffle to second for one. No chance to get to Plantier. Two down, and the 9-hole hitter, Josh Livingston. Jim Schlossnagle was asked about Shane Sadeo, and he gave an incredible compliment. He called him a savage competitor, adding that I know his love for A&M, and I also know his feelings towards the other side. Injured all of last season, hadn't appeared since a Super Regional against Oregon in June of 24.
And that was so much of the story for A&M last year. It's just the injury piece. I mean, we talk about Grohovac and we talk about Sorrell, but Sadeo was going to pitch on the weekend the whole year and didn't make a start.
It was a roller coaster of a ride for the Aggies last year. And missed out on the postseason after a late push and then a 3-game sweep at the hands of the Missouri Tigers. The only 3 wins for Mizzou last year in league play. How does 92 play so well for him?
Well, it's got pretty good carry. I mean, it's one thing Sadeo does. He's been up to 95. The fastball's kind of lived 92, 93 for the most part, but he did bump a 95. But that fastball that Sadeo has, generally he's going to work at the top of the zone, but even if not, still has pretty good carry to home plate.
I think, too, when you can go left on left, inner third like that, it just makes...
You don't do it very often either.
Yeah.
I mean, that one right there.
Because
That's
you know
not as
Livingston's
much of a-
thinking slider, right? And
Absolutely.
so you got a lot of room in there if you can make that pitch. It opens up the outer third with his breaking ball.
Pulled down the line. That's a fair ball. Duplantier headed to third. It gets all the way into the corner. Wilson finally tracks it down. Here comes Duplantier, and Texas has tied it on a double just inside the chalk by Josh Livingston.
Berkey, you said it just a minute ago that they have not handled the slider today until right there.
Yep. And Michael Early told us today almost all his mistakes have been punished this year. This is a mistake. This is a slider that doesn't get to the bottom outside part of the zone. That's a hanger when you really felt like he had him set up if he throws his best breaking ball. And as Grohovac shuffles off, that ball goes right inside the chalk. And a mistake with 2 strikes costs Sadeo as the Longhorns tie this one up.
And so the inning rolls on for Ethan Mendoza, who grew up a huge Texas fan. Played his high school ball at South Lake Carroll before going to Arizona State for a stopover. Eight home runs, 31 driven in. Put on 10 to 15 pounds of muscle in the offseason. Exit velo and power both up.
Making the kind of jump you would want a player to make in year 3 of college. And as Texas is hitting more home runs this year, it's also it's not a ballpark that is home run friendly, especially early in the season. This is a team that really has some thump this year, and some of the returning players have made a nice jump.
Yanked foul. Mendoza didn't play his senior year of high school at South Lake Carroll. He was out with an arm injury. Then 49 starts as a freshman with the Sun Devils. Battled through a shoulder injury last year. Jim Schlossnagle looking for a shortstop due to injury. He had 0 college starts at short before this season. Breaking ball chopped up the middle. Hakopian handles it. But Texas gets one back, and We head to the bottom of the fourth. We're tied at 2. And the reigning national champions, thank you, Alyssa. A 1-0 count to Nico Partita to start the fourth. It'll be Partita, Keel, and then Wilson for A&M.
Vandy has 9 runs on 4 hits in that game.
It's efficient.
See that line every day, especially from Skip Johnson, Coach Pitts and staff.
Florida took game 1 of its series on the road in Athens, 8-2. And a strike to Partita.
Aiden King start that, I assume?
Yeah, Aiden King. Seven and 2/3, 2 hits, 6 Ks.
He can, his ability to control that split, he can make it move away from the right-hander sometimes too if it wants to. It doesn't just have down. Then against the lefties, he can run it away. It's really good control of that pitch.
Team high 9 wins last year for Riojas, who split between starting and relieving. This one's got some carry to the left field. Whoa, and over! Nico Partita leadoff home run in the fourth. Aggies 5th in the country in home runs, and Partita joins the party to give A&M another lead.
I mean, the bubbles, I feel like we got next level bubbles tonight.
There's more to that.
Yes.
First pitch strike to Terrence Keel.
You don't go very many places where you got to worry about bubbles in your scorebook.
I wonder if the hitter has to worry about bubbles in their eye. Don't look at the bubble. Don't look at the bubble.
To third, Borba was playing on the grass. 1 down. Nico Partita, 10th home run of the year.
Well, Nico Partita's got a chance to be one of the highest picks in the country in a couple years, and he shows you why right here. A split. Look at him get in that back knee and keep that barrel in the zone. The ability to extend the length of the barrel. Watch this. Stay through a baseball right there, and then the juice to run it out of here to left field on a night that it's not very offensive. That is a big-time swing from a freshman who is playing every single day at third base in this league. So impressive.
Jorian Wilson at the plate now for A&M.
There's some projections that have Nico Partita right at the draft class, the projected draft class for 2028. I know it's early, but that's the kind of splash that he's made already. Of course, came in pretty famous.
Back-to-back splits to Jorian Wilson.
He's got a chance to hit 15 to 17, 18 home runs this year as a true freshman.
And 3 straight to dispatch the freshman. 2 down. Now, Rugo Riojas has made a jump this season with his velocity. He's an Austin kid. He was born at St. David's Hospital right next to campus. Mom and dad both grew up in Austin.
It is amazing the growth, though. He was at UTSA for 2 years. He had 2 starts in 2 years. You could see how the velocity has jumped. The barrels have gone down.
Another first pitch swing, and this one gathered by Borba. And that will close the Aggie inning. One more look at what Nico Partita did to start the party.
Pretty good looking freshman right here. Nice to plug him in. Just went double digits in home runs. Took a split that did not look comfortable on the pitch before. Well, this one looked a little bit different. 106 off the bat out to left. That swing by the freshman gives the Aggies a lead back.
This rivalry is remembered forever.
Innumerable moments in the history between these two rivals. Nico Partita with a solo home run. One of my favorite nuggets in the history of this is that the best crowd that's ever seen a baseball game at Reckling Park, which is Rice's home stadium, was a game between Texas and Texas A&M. You saw the horns down off the mound. That was in the regional, I don't know, 10 years ago or so.
That was when Rice got knocked out, played in the regional final.
Yeah. Augie Garrido was the head coach at Texas at that time. We saw him right after that Game 7 win, and he was flat giddy. Weekend series of 3 games here since 1992. Augie really appreciated the rivalry. He didn't even mind the fact that the 12th man called him Soggy Burrito. He said, you know, if I was wearing their uniform, they'd love me. I was wearing the other uniform.
Pretty good line, though. Soggy Burrito.
Yeah. It's a loving nickname. Ball and 2 strikes. Sadeo has given him 4 solid. It'll be his 80th pitch of the night.
Tried to double up fastballs in there, KP. Almost hit him with the one before, and that sometimes it's too obvious that you're going to go soft away. They tried to double up, but that fastball didn't get anywhere near where it was designed to go. How do you think they go soft?
They do.
Yeah. Good early call.
Well, there's got to be a delay.
Yeah,
I mean, that was
you were way early.
Now we'll see if he backs it.
I would think so. Tenney already with a couple walks here, just doing a nice job of putting together some at-bats in this ball game.
And Tenney reaches to start the 5th. Well, A&M jumps right back into the fire against LSU next weekend, and the second game of that 3-game series will come your way right here on the SEC Network, and as always on the ESPN app. That game 2 starts at 8 Eastern, 7 Central.
That's a big inning for today, and he had an 0-2 advantage right there. Tenney worked it all the way out to a leadoff walk. But we talk about the difference on the mound between these two teams. The difference in the bullpen is pretty significant. And if you can get Sadeo to give you 6 in the opener and leave with the lead, it sets this A&M team up very differently for the weekend.
2-0.
Well, it's a tough managerial decision for Michael Early, because you see they're already talking to the bullpen. They love Clayton Freshcourt. Like, that's their guy, and what they don't want to do is wait too long to get him in this ball game. They are all in to win game 1 once they have a lead in the middle innings. Now, again, in a perfect world, Sadeo gets a good breaking ball here, and you get a 5-4-3 double play, and you can tell the pen to stand down. But you see Weston Moss actually playing catch there.
Part of the shuffle for the rotation. And Moss moving into the bullpen for this one. If they didn't use him, we thought maybe we'd see Moss for game 3 as the starter. And straight out of the zone to Aiden Robbins. Harrison helped him out a bit. 3-1.
You better make a pitch here. And on a night where the wind's blowing right to left across the diamond, if you're going to go fastball, I'd keep it on the outer third. No reason to challenge in a hitter's count. Good pitch. That's exactly where you go.
Driven high and deep to right field. Wilson's out of room. And it's into the bullpen for an opposite field 2-run home run for Aiden Robbins. #12th home run of the season for Aiden Robbins, and Texas back in front.
Was the discussion that we had with his A&M staff about today, and where the damage has been done this year, in large part has been the long ball in big spots, and 3-2 fastball. It's not terrible.
No, it wasn't.
It was 92 on the outer half right there. He just had an advanced hitter that got just enough of it to drive it out and spin this thing around in one pitch.
Here's Anthony Pack Jr. He's down in the count, 0-1.
That was impressive, and Aiden Robbins knew he got it when he hit it. I mean, he took his time leaving the batter's box and on a ball that had quite a bit of launch to it. Again, the wind is not friendly.
And now a hit by pitch. Pack not happy with it. And here's another look at what Robbins did.
I mean, I talked about it earlier. This is the guy that brings them their juice, loves to play the game with passion and emotion. This is a fastball up and out over the plate, and he smashes it. And he knew it the second it left his bat. And it didn't get out by a ton on a night where, again, the ball's not carrying. But Jorian Wilson can't make the play. And, again, Aiden Robbins and Carson Tenney right in the middle of it here as we see Wilson. Oh, man, he almost made that play. Robbins has now doubled his home run total from last year. 6 home runs last year at Seton Hall, 12 already with a lot of season left.
Casey Borba 0 for 2, couple of strikeouts. Jason Kelly, the A&M pitching coach. Pack's got 11 stolen bases in 12 tries, and Sadeo sitting at 90 pitches has struggled in his 5th. A leadoff walk, the opposite field home run for Robbins, and then the hit by pitch for Pack. And that'll be the end of the line for Shane Sadeo. Aggies go to the bullpen in the 5th. And Texas back in front. It's a 1-run Longhorn lead. Nobody out in the 5th. Take it back to the 3rd inning. And A&M able to do some damage. A triple that was misplayed, a Graholbeck run scoring double. The bubbles were flying and Texas A&M had the lead. In the 4th, Partita with a leadoff home run to just scrape the wall and ended up in the bleachers and left. And now in the 5th, opposite field shot for Aiden Robbins.
Philly kid.
Philly kid, that's
Philly.
right, that's right.
Just outside Philly. You got corrected on that.
Yeah, he
pregame.
made sure to correct me on that. I appreciate that. Loves where he's from. And man, has he made a splash here in Austin.
And A&M in the bullpen early. Clemson transfer Ethan Darden Look at the numbers for Robbins, already a dozen home runs to match what he did previous 2 years. Darden's from Rock Hill, South Carolina. Spent 3 seasons at Clemson, primarily as a starter. 2-0 on the year with a 3.31.
12 appearances last year, all were starts. And this year for A&M, it's been exclusively out of the bullpen. It feels like that was a spot to where if that lead had held, you may go to Moss. And the minute that it flipped, now you still, if you want to throw Moss in game 3, can. Or if the game dictates, you can bring him in later on today. Because Weston Moss is probably their best reliever last year.
Yeah, he definitely, yeah, no question.
And this year in the starting role has been a little bit different.
5 hits, 4 earned for Sadeo. One and 2 for Casey Borbog. Went down swinging both appearances against Sadeo. And he goes down swinging again.
Darden, it's going to be primarily fastball slider. Fastball sit 90-91, and this is what he really leans on from an off-speed standpoint.
Not exactly where he's probably trying to land that one, but it worked.
And the shortstop Temo Becerra's now got a 12-game on base streak going. Singled up the middle in the second.
Feels like we're going to get a lot of back and forth tonight. I mean, we've already seen it seesaw a few times here early in this ball game, and this one kind of has classic written all over it from these two teams.
Sarah got his degree from Stanford, appeared in the College World Series a couple of times with the Cardinal. First generation college student, and he's got a Stanford degree in his back pocket.
He was the everyday shortstop. He started 55 games at shortstop last year for Stanford. That's why, even though you're not happy that Rodriguez is out in a situation like this, you got a guy that's played the middle of the diamond consistently.
Only 1 home run last year with Stanford. He's sitting on 5 already this season.
Again, it's been impressive to see some of these transfers come over and make power jumps at a place traditionally not considered a home run friendly park.
And many of these guys, as transfers, are asked to adopt a new strategy at the plate. Wilson covers enough ground to get underneath it. I say asked to, strongly encouraged to,
yeah.
and or demanded.
But I think you could also say that the selectivity leads to the increase in power, because now we're not just up there panicked to put the first decent pitch in play. They're up there hunting their best pitch, especially until they get to 2 strikes.
When you were at your best as a college player, were you bothered by getting deep into counts?
No, for me, I love settling into at bats. That was something that I mean, probably to a fault, was very picky early in counts, to the point where most of the time on a first pitch I was just purely taking. And I think, you know, some of the data both clubs gave us today on the success that they have.
There goes the runner, pitches high, the throw to second is on top of the bag, and he is in there safely. 12th swipe and 13 attempts for Pat.
But the success that they have as programs, as their hitters get deeper into counts, And that doesn't mean you can't swing at the first pitch, but boy, do they really encourage to be extremely selective if you're going to go after the first offering.
All three of those teams are in the top 10 in the country in walks.
Yeah, there's a direct correlation to swing percentage and then taking walks.
And Jim Schlossnagel's teams over the last 5 years, of course, including his time here at Texas A&M, and the most patient hitters in all of college baseball. I mentioned the speed. This year, now 4th in the league in stolen bases. Pulled down the line, gloved by Grahovac. And that'll put the Aggies back in the dugout, but not before a 2-run home run from Aiden Robbins reclaimed the lead for Texas.
Fans, the ESPN app has all of ESPN all in one place. Visit activate.espn.com to see if you have ESPN Unlimited as part of your TV package for no additional cost. It's all of ESPN all in one place. Sign up or activate now.
Welcome back to Aggieland. Tom Hart alongside Chris Burke and Kyle Peterson. Scoreless through 2. And then the pendulum just swinging back and forth since.
Yeah, it feels like, I understand they got a 1-run lead, but it feels advantage Longhorns right now because of the way the mound situation can look for the rest. Riojas really has only had one rough start this year. That was last weekend against South Carolina. Stuff's been good. Pitch count still down there. His next pitch will just be his 66th.
Kellner fouls it off. Riojas had a hard time landing the breaking ball last week, and so hitters just kind of feasting.
Early, too. And that was the South Carolina offense that had been scuffling, and they faced one of the best, not just in the league, but in the country. Beat Texas in the opener. The Longhorns came back to win the next 2.
Now 2-1 to Kellner. Kellner out of Hamilton High School, Chandler, Arizona. They've created a couple pretty good shortstops in Hamilton, huh?
Yeah, guy by the last name of Chalowski. You ever heard of him?
Sometimes.
Is there another one? Oh, Cody Bellinger.
Cody Bellinger spent some time in it. Yeah, that's a powerhouse program.
That qualifies a pretty good one.
Everyone to Kellner. Jammed it. Borba.
Ball's not carrying the left.
I want to hit your grip.
Well, not many balls carry against his Texas A&M pitching staff. Second in the country in ERA. Top 10 in strikeouts per 9.
They just don't walk too many guys either. I mean, it's high-end stuff tonight. Tomorrow we'll see Luke Harrison. And then Dylan Valantis slated to go game 3, which from an ERA standpoint has been better than all of them.
Rollback jumps on the first and sneaks this one down the line. It will rattle in the corner before Pack gets to it. Pack finally finds a baseball. Grahovac headed for third. He's in with a leadoff, a 1-out triple. Second extra base hit of the game for Gavin Grahovac.
Hey now. I mean, this kid is on some sort of heater. Came in tonight with 7 homers in his last 7 games. The very first at bat of the game, he flies out to the wall. Since then, he's gone double, triple, and right there he puts his wheels on full display as he gets a hanging breaking ball and just rips it down the third baseline. We've seen the ball to the center field wall, a rocket to left center, and now down the third baseline. Grahovac continuing to produce big swings for this Aggie offense. There's that tight turn, KP. Yeah. That is the tight turn.
And Caden Sorrell now. Ooh, gave him a strike inside.
See if they try to double up right there. You get a hitter reaction on that. It was 94, but it was elevated on the inside part of the plate. Did not look like that's where Sorrell wanted it.
That'll get the run home. They were tied at 4 on the RBI ground out from Caden Sorrell.
Those two work pretty well together.
Yeah.
For Hovack, you just get yourself in scoring position, and I'll figure out a way to get you in. Back-to-back at bats for Sorrell, where he's done it.
You know, I know Caden Sorrell hits the balls as hard as just about anybody in the league. But that is 2 times he's been up with a runner on third, less than 2 outs.
Yes.
He's hit 2 tappers to the second baseman for ribbies. It's just interesting how they're conceding that run. I'm a big fan of playing the infield in. It feels like if they had the infield in, neither one of those would have produced runs.
Kopian swings at the first pitch for the 3rd consecutive at bat. All Big Ten performer at Maryland. Led the Terrapins in hits last year. 2nd on the team in home runs. Different arm angle, and this one will trickle foul. Kopian didn't have much availability earlier this season. He missed some time with some back issues and only appeared in 3 games before SEC play started. So they've got him penciled in over at second base.
Having a very interesting year. His splits are as noticeable as any hitter that I've come across, especially one as highly regarded as he is. Right-handers have just feasted on him this year.
Rojas finishes with a strike, and uh-oh, here we go. Had some issues there. Kopian was trying to scramble down. All smiles on the Texas side, despite giving up the lead. Through 5 innings, we're tied at 4. 12th man has been in rare form today. It's been a busy weekend. We got the ring pickups going on throughout campus, and plenty of families in town. Guy in a hot dog outfit. We got everything. Here's Duplantier. It's kind of, we've been coming here for a number of years. It was hard to imagine that they could really improve the situation here, but they've added the outfield seating over the last few seasons.
Got them jammed into about every place you could watch from around here.
A new player development center going up down the left field line, and of course Texas came in and had some practice in here last night under the lights, and then workout earlier today. And Jim Schlossnagle really kick-started the stadium improvements before he took off for Austin.
There's some big old plans now to add 4,000 or 5,000 seats to this place. I love it. I mean, I understand why you'd want to add more seats, but the environment here when it gets going is outstanding. No train yet tonight.
What's up with that?
To short. And late.
KP, he did not get a good jump on this ball. Boston Kellner hesitates. Watch him right from the jump. The ball's hit and he just hangs, right? Now he's got to come full speed, and the runner is just not. Jade Duplantier is way too athletic to hang back on a slow chopper like that. And even though he makes a nice transfer and a strong throw, you just have to attack that baseball with more urgency.
And we've got a pinch hitter for Texas. Livingston's spot is due up. This is Presley Corville getting a chance to hit. And Corville puts the bunt down to foul.
would think he's in there to do that. Corville just 9 at-bats this year. Does not have a sack bunt. Texas doesn't do it very often. They've sack bunted just 6 times all year.
Corville's 2 for 3 as a pinch hitter. The freshman from Lake Charles, Louisiana. Partita's in on the grass at third. Then he pushes it up the first base side. Bare hand, Darden.
Nice play.
And the sacrifice puts Duplantier in second.
And you got to appreciate Schloss and his ability to manage the game right there. Like, that's one of those situations where I'm sure he's got Livingston if nobody's on, right? And Kerrville if the leadoff runner reaches, and boom, leadoff runner gets on, you go sack bunt, and now you get the top of the order with a runner in scoring position. He's been doing this a while. KP, he's pretty good at it.
He's pretty darn good at it.
7 trips to Omaha for Jim Schlossnagle. Mendoza swings at the first.
Yeah, you take 2 programs further than they've ever been in college baseball. TCU goes to Omaha 5 times. A&M gets them to Game 3 of the finals a couple years ago.
He took TCU to 4 straight, which is just remarkable to think about somebody going 4 straight.
One of them in this to get there in this ballpark.
Now 2-1.
Came here and went to World Series in his very first year here, which was really one of the first kind of great portal makeover jobs that we'd seen in college baseball. They just came in and immediately hit the ground running with some huge additions. 22, excuse me. And of course, at 24, they were one run away in Game 3 of the College World Series.
Fly out and a ground out for Mendoza, who was also hit by a pitch. Get the slider here. 3-2.
He's not afraid to throw it 3-2, that's for sure, especially with first base open.
Well, but whatever you're throwing, you do need to land it because you got Tenney and Robbins right around the corner, and this is not a situation where you want to be giving free passes up.
Poke to the right side, handled by Graholback. Advances the runner to Plantier.
Swung at ball 4. And that's a nice pitch because you induced the chase. But, boy, that's one of those plays that you look back, it could have really heightened the situation of this game right there if Mendoza was able to lay off that one.
There, Harrison will take a walk to the mound to visit with Darden as Tenney prepares. Darden entered in relief midway through the 5th. Came in with a runner on and retired the 3 that he faced. Now he deals with Tenney. What was the value of the Carson Tenney pickup in the offseason for Texas?
Significant. I mean, he had one of the best, if not the best, catcher that was in the portal last year. Berkey talked about the ability to impact the baseball, and he can do it about as well as anybody. 3 patient at bats so far tonight.
That's a power surge.
Ball looks like it's moving pretty slow to him right now. I mean, he looks very in command. And again, we talk about it don't matter what the conditions are. If he runs into one, he can hit it out foul pole to foul pole. Goes down to a
try it.
That's the old Reggie Jackson follow through right there. This is called spending the entire dollar, Mike Rooney. Goodness gracious. See what I mean? I mean, he is seeing that breaking ball. He's been putting on the brakes all night long. Those are chase pitches, KP.
Yeah. Well, and that's the first one he's seen from Dart. Everything was fastball up to that point in this at bat. Yeah, he is. He's pulled the chute 3 or 4 different times on swings that all ended up about right there.
Well, ahead run at third, the 2-2. Upstairs. A couple of years ago, Tenney battled injuries at Notre Dame, only made 15 starts, and then erupted for a monster season last year.
Oh boy.
And he laces it deep to right field towards the pen, and it's gone! Opposite field home run for Carson Tenney.
You made a statement earlier in that at bat to where for Tenney right now it just doesn't feel like anything's moving very quick. Well, you combine that with a 90-mile-an-hour fastball that he had seen multiple times. The fear of swing and miss in that spot is essentially gone.
Yeah.
It's just where can I, even in a 2-strike count, where can I do damage? You got a fastball elevated enough that he could do it. Now 2 opposite field home runs tonight for Texas.
And remember, Duplantier hadn't reached, and a ball that Boston Kellner didn't get to in time. So it's a 2-run shot, our first 2-run lead of the night for either side.
Well, there's very few people that can ride it out at that low of a launch on a night like tonight. But that was a 22-degree line drive bullet. When he left his bat, you're thinking, that's a one-hopper off the wall. And that thing stayed in the air into the bullpen. Man, that is one scary dude right now.
Couple of home runs in the bullpen just cleared that short wall. Late jump for Keel in deep left, and he'll get there. That will finally close the inning. A 2-strike home run for Carson Tenney.
One of the baddest dudes in America. Shows you why here. Fastball up and out over the plate. Sees it deep and shoots it out backside. The Longhorns take the lead again, 6-4.
Riojas just misses low and in, 1-0. What a weird year in Fayetteville, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, you feel like that offense going to kick it into gear at some point. Maybe this is when it starts tonight.
Well, they needed to get going because they got Georgia coming to town next weekend. 1-1. Surprise in the RPI department. Remember, A&M fans can relate. They were preseason #1 last year and didn't make the postseason. Who of these 5 teams have the most concern at this point of the year?
I still think it's Vandy, even though offensively they can put on a light show. But, man, they just have not pitched it well, particularly late in ball games. And it's happening again tonight. I think they were down 13-11, I think, to OU. I don't know what it is right now after scoring 8 in the first. That's a long way to go from an RPI standpoint.
Yeah, Vandy took game 1 last night, and that game's in the 7th, still 13-11 Sooners.
I think the Southeastern, the ACC and SEC teams do have so many opportunities to get RPI hits, but I think it's just tough. I think both Vanderbilt and Louisville have the same issue where they both have world-class offenses, but they don't have the depth on the mound to consistently win the weekend. And math doesn't work out great if you're only winning one on the weekend. Vanderbilt is just, they're having a lot of games like tonight where when they don't run Fennell or Neto out there, they don't have much of a chance to win the ball game.
Dewar reaches with a leadoff walk. Second walk from Riojas this evening.
This has been one of those nights for Ruger Riojas that he's kind of battled through a night that he hasn't had his best stats. I think they're going to go down there right now. He has not had his best stuff at all. I mean, he came into this ballgame over the course of the year with 68 strikeouts and 42 2/3. He got 4 tonight, and it's just kind of battled the entire time. I think this is the right time to go get him, especially with a Texas bullpen that is loaded.
Into the line for Ruger Riojas. First trip to the pen for Texas. Hayden LeFew, the lefty, entering from right field. Ruger Riojas, 5 innings, 5 hits, struck out 4 and walked 2. That has been a bugaboo for Tennessee this season.
Yeah, closing late games. I mean, they've had their fair share of chances, that's for sure. It hasn't gone great. They get the star freshman in the game right now. We'll see if that one holds.
Nico Partita homered last time up. He gets to face Hayden LeFew here.
This is really good swing and miss stuff. The transfer from Wake Forest hadn't had a problem striking guys out. Last year, 34 1/3 innings out of the bullpen, struck out 59. The issue for LeFew can be free base runners. This year it's 5 walks and 11 1/3, but in that short time frame, he struck out 20.
A&M's 5th in the country in home runs. That is 3rd in the SEC behind Georgia and Vanderbilt. So a little bit of thump in the league.
A lot of thump in the league. The Aggies have hit the most in SEC games entering this weekend, so they've been right there with Georgia in conference games. At OPS, they're up like 200 points in conference games on the rest of the league. I mean, their offense has just been lethal through the first 4 weekends of conference play. And you can see why. I mean, the power and the depth of this offense is real.
Breaking ball up to Partita. In SEC play, he's got 14 hits, 6 of them have left the yard.
That's the old 54-footer there, KP.
Yeah, I mean, that's the challenge. When he gets ahead and throws strike 1, there's a lot of swing and miss to follow. But you know, especially with a very patient offense, you're going to get more patient when you got a guy out there that sometimes can struggle to find his zone.
2-2 to Partita. Partita was in Omaha as an 11-year-old back in 2018. He grew up an A&M fan. His mom is an Aggie. Looked up to Johnny Manziel and former Aggie shortstop Braden Shoemaker. In the dirt, that one kicked away from Tinning. Dewar takes advantage of the wild pitch.
It's the up and down of a good breakaway. Is you get a lot of swing and miss, but you got a lot that are down in the dirt. And Good secondary right there by Dewar just to be on the front foot, recognize that ball in the dirt, and if it gets away at all, he's off to second base easy.
Yeah, as a base runner here, you're trying to recognize the angle of that breaking ball early, get a good jump, and Dewar certainly did that.
And there's ball 4. Riojas walked Dewar, and now LeFew issues a free pass to Partida. It was interesting when Michael Early was talking to us about the lineup he was going to put on the field this weekend, or at least for game 1, and he said, we've got a lot of thumpers in the lineup. We want to get some guys mixed in that can put the ball in play that aren't such high risk to go with the high reward. And here's an opportunity for Terrence Keel to prove him right.
Well, he's got another chance to see if he puts down a bunt here. Last time in this situation, he bunted towards first base. Like to see him a little further up in the box and get that angle a little further out in front of home plate. You see Ashton Larson now, we know he doesn't have a ton of experience at first base. He's looking in the dugout over there. He's free to charge as hard as he wants at first base. So as soon as he sees that bat square, he's going to take away the right side of the field.
Brand new position for Larson.
He's not charging hard enough. And again, still very new to the position, but Mendoza's coming over to cover first base, so you have no responsibilities there at all.
You can go as far as you want to go there. I would definitely show bunt here, but I would think pretty hard about bringing it back regardless.
Slash, yeah.
Well, just force him to throw a strike.
Just take.
I think you got to, at this point, you got to force him to throw a strike.
This conversation about?
Well, at some level, you're saying they're trying to give us an out. You need to let them give us an out. But I'm with you, KP. I would not, if I was the Aggies, I would not be giving an out right here until he throws a strike.
But I would show bunt. There's a lot of guys that get uncomfortable when that bat's waving around.
Max Wiener is a new age philosopher. He went to the mound and he told everybody, slow down your heart rate, take a deep breath. Watch how the infielders react.
Yeah, I saw.
Everybody's taking a breath.
Yeah, it feels good. They're all shaking their head. Now they need a strike.
Shows bunt. Never made contact. The throw back to first. How did he keep a hold of the bag?
Boy, if Tinney makes a good throw there, he's out.
Yeah.
See here, I guess he whiffs it, KP.
He did, and right away, too, he's saying move, move, move.
Oh, my.
But did you see, and I think it's natural reaction for a catcher, did you see where Tinney looked first? He looked to second base.
Oh,
he looked to second base, and it just took a little bit longer.
Keel gets this one down, no play at third, and a sacrifice advances both.
That's the difference between Riojas and a left-handed reliever. That's a bunt that if you got enough nerve, you maybe throw that ball to third base.
Especially as a left-hander.
Yes.
Because your body's already opened up to it. It's a much quicker transfer. You're taking a chance, obviously, but there's no easier play on a bunt.
Yeah, he's out.
Yeah. You field it cleanly and make a good throw, you get the lead run.
Last time up, Jorian Wilson saw 3 straight split fingers from Ruger Riojas and struck out on 3 pitches.
That's the one he's going to have to handle in this at-bat, especially when you land strike 1.
Bother with a fastball out of the zone or just send another?
No, not yet.
This is where you just throw your A-plus breaking ball. Trust your catcher to keep it in front.
2 in scoring position for Wilson. 1 out in the frame. Wilson 0 for 2, couple of strikeouts. He's carrying a 10-game hit streak.
Interesting. Back-to-back heaters that
Confusing.
Yeah. Neither of those particularly close.
He was down 0-2. Now it's full.
That's a good take there.
He came into this game with only 8 at-bats against lefties all season.
It's going to be a breaking ball again here.
Just off the plate.
That's a pretty good take now. I mean, after getting the first 2, one called for a strike on you that was outside corner iffy, then swinging through the next one. Takes the next 4 to draw what started as an 0-2 count. A 6-pitch walk, and this is plenty good enough to offer out. There's a lot of times you're going to get that take.
Dewar the runner at third, Martinez at second, and now Wilson at first after the walk. This is Bear Harrison with the bases loaded.
A little surprised they're staying with a few here.
I'm actually very surprised.
Yeah, me too.
Yes.
We had somebody in the hot, it's a right-hander hot in the pin down there.
I think that was Crossland. If Harrison can catch one, this place will go nuts. 2-0.
I wouldn't wait. I know it's a 2-0 count, but
6 straight balls from LeFew.
They're having a conversation about it down there. You can see Schloss and Wiener talking about it.
Tenney thought that was a strike. The way that he caught it and reacted. But it really doesn't matter what Tenney thinks on that.
Wow. A bases loaded walk and a ball 5 chant coming. And nobody moving out of the Texas dugout just yet. And here comes Jim Schlossnick. All 5 will turn to boos. LeFew walks 3 in relief, and he'll hand it off to Brett Crossland. And a freshman walking right into the fire. Bases loaded, 1 out, trying to protect a 1-run lead on the road against a rival. In a rivalry that didn't need much juice, the temperature's been turned up. Brett Crossland enters and inherits a ball 5 chant from the 12th man. This is Bluebell Park, College Station. And the home team's got the bases loaded.
We talked about the depth of this Texas team. What's interesting is the 2 that they probably trust the most out of the bullpen are both true freshmen, and Crossland is one of them. He's been more their bridge guy and actually could give you a little bit of length. He's not going to come in and necessarily get 3. He could get you multiple outs, try to bridge that gap to Sam Kozar. But first things first, you got bases loaded, 1 out. He's got to figure out a way to get him out of this inning because the Eggs have a chance to grab that lead back.
Boston Kellner. And a first pitch strike. Kellner About 200 points lower in the batting average against righties and lefties, and the OPS takes a dip as well.
That is a straight over the top delivery by Crossan. What a play by Carson.
Yes, it
Tinney
was.
there. That is not easy to do.
That was 98. Every bit of it running away from that catcher's glove.
Freshman versus freshman, center stage in a series that dates back to 1903. Crossland versus Kellner. Missed with the fastball up and now the curveball up. Kellner, you're thinking you're getting 98 here?
Well, you got to be ready for it. I think the pitching wants to get him out with is the cutter away, but the timing has to be set to the high-end fastball. But I just think Crossan's going to stay away. So if you're Kellner, you're looking out over the plate, really trying to use that backside gap.
Michael Early told us today, if our hitters try to guess at the plate, it will not work. There are too many options coming from these Texas arms.
Is that a changeup?
It looked like it. He grips changeup every time before he goes. And he will throw the changeup against righties this year. He's done it just over 10% of the time. It looked like it out of his hand.
2-2 again. Missed high again. Nowhere to put Boston Kellner. Missed high again, and another bases loaded walk. Martina comes home. They'll recue the bubbles. They may have to reload. We're tied at 6. And Gavin Grahovac, who's already having a night, could add to his legend status.
This is not the dude you want up right now if you're Texas. And for the Aggies, you couldn't think of anybody you'd rather have up there than Grahovac, with a chance to really create some separation in this ball game.
Batting through the bubbles, Gavin Grahovac has a pair of extra base hits, and he rides this one to right field. Duplantier has room, and he comes in to make a running catch. Tagging from third and racing home is Jorian Wilson. And A&M reclaims the lead.
I think Duplantier's reaction was the same as ours when that ball came off the bat, where you just know the power that Grahovac has wherever he wants to hit it. That ball, based on the swing, he thought was going to carry a little bit further, and Duplantier really had to close to get to it.
I think he hit it off the end of the bat. That ball looked like it had home run trajectory to it, but just dies out there in right field, and Duplantier did a nice job of making an adjustment.
Already got tested earlier this game right at twilight. Here's Caden Sorrell, who's driven in a pair of runs with RBI groundouts. Finally got the fastball down. Sorrell top 10 in the country in home runs and RBIs. 2.
That is a filthy changeup right there. That thing had depth and some horizontal movement to it, KP.
And it's got good arm speed, too. I mean, it's that 3-finger changeup grip, and when you got to gear up for a fastball that's been as high as 98, it's tough to hold off of that one.
Swing and a miss at 94, but not before A&M plates 3 and erases a 2-run deficit.
Big strikeout in the spot to get the Longhorns off the field, but the Aggies bounce back without a hit. 5 walks in the inning, 3 runs, and A&M has retaken the lead.
Center of the college baseball universe this weekend, Bluebell Park and Bryan College Station. And after a scoreless first 2 innings, we've had 6 lead changes from the 3rd through the 6th.
6 lead changes, and we are not done yet. It feels like there might be a couple more.
So A&M with the lead turns it over to Clayton Freshcorn.
Yeah, and we talked about the strength of Texas being their bullpen. Hasn't necessarily been tonight. Hasn't really been that way for A&M, but this is the one that they trust the most. Freshcorn on right now. ERA right at 135 for the year. He's thrown the ball decent within the SEC, and control, which I think is massive in this spot now that they have the lead. After what you just saw from Texas, control's been outstanding this year.
Anthony Pack Jr. is the 4-hole hitter for Texas, and he swings right through the fastball, 0-1. Michael Early was talking about Freshcorn's usage, saying we've got to use him more. He's been so incredibly effective out of the bullpen. Back-to-back appearances in the Vandy series last weekend. He hasn't allowed a run in his last 4 outings. Muscled into center field, and Pack's got his first hit of the night.
You like to have a strike throw come into the ball game, but not exactly where you want to throw it on to. I mean, that wasn't right down the middle, but it gave the freshman a chance to get enough to it to get Texas the leadoff man on.
Last time we saw Texas get a leadoff runner on, they bunted. I don't expect that to be the case here with Borba, but he has struck out 3 times. So see how Schloss plays it.
Pack's already got a stolen base tonight, 12 of 13 on the season. Kopian's over on the left side. And the shift is on for Borba. All 3 of his strikeouts have come swinging. A little funky.
Backup slider.
Freshcorn was a closer to start this season last year for A&M, then moved into a middle relief role. He closed the season really strong. Didn't allow a run over his final 8 appearances.
If you could front door that slider every time, you'd be in good shape.
And you get that reaction 95% of the time, because on that pitch, right-handed hitters are expecting if you're going to throw it, it's going to be out away from you. When it comes out of his hand, it looks like something that's going to miss in and off the plate, and he's dotted 2 of them on the inside half. 3 of them.
Borba 0 for 4 Ks.
Well, the first 2 I'll give you, KP, as far as takes. This one's the one you want to hit. Like, if you're ready to hit in a 2-strike count, you're swinging the bat at that one. That's actually a middle, KP, another 2-strike pitch that really probably catches too much of the plate. But for whatever reason, Borba doesn't pull the trigger. And the Aggies have their first out here in the top of the 7th. Kind of a long arm pickoff move there by Fresh Corn. It feels like Pack could get another step on his lead.
Semo Becerra singled his first time up.
See that? Like that wasn't even a great jump back to the base, and Pack was still. To me, one of the things that base runners don't do enough of is like if you're safe easy, get a bigger lead. If that's his A move, you can tell with his feet and his arm action, that's his best move. If his best move isn't close, get a bigger lead. Pack's got a chance to steal a lot of bases in this league.
Well, it feels like he's going to take a chance here pretty quick.
I would get out there at least one more step. So far, Fresh Corn has been pretty quick. When he hits his set, he goes. It's almost like when he's paused, he's picked, and when he's
quick,
sets,
he goes home.
when he's quick, he goes home. And oftentimes pitchers like to go quick after they pick.
And that one's boxed by Harris.
Surely that was a cross-up, right, KP? You didn't go talk about it.
It's really hard to get crossed up when you're using pitch count.
Yeah,
because everybody hears it.
Didn't it
it's
look
one
like
thing
he
if you're
jumped
given
at that?
sets of signs.
I mean, he jumps at that thing like he's thinking it's going to
He
be a
definitely
slider.
moved like he thought that ball was going to go down.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he thought the last one was going to do.
Yeah, somebody messed that one up, I think. Just usually you go out and talk after that.
High to right center field. Sorrell on the run, and in front of him, Wilson handles it. No advance by Pack. Two down.
I have a feeling that we're going to say a lot of really nice things about Jorian Wilson for the next 3 years because that he just kind of flipped that one into third base. There is a whole lot of like in that right field.
Whole lot of like. Okay. It's a new one for you.
Yeah, I didn't really know where that was going.
I like when you surprise me.
Surprised himself. 0-1 to Larson. Does playing a new position in the field carry over and impact you at the plate?
It certainly can. Yeah, there's a level of comfort or discomfort that's associated with what position you're playing in the field. And you'd like to think that you can separate the two completely, but I think that's often easier said than done.
I was talking with Larson at the cage today, and he said, you know, I took infield, outfield. I would start at first base when I was at LSU, then move into the outfield. He rides this one into center field. Caden Sorrell. Texas A&M with the one-run lead. Time to stretch, and the heart of the order doing up. Hakopian, Dewar, and Petita. Home half of the 7th. Here's Chris Akopian. He swung at the first pitch every time, and not this time. All right, he finally get a chance to tell us about Chris Akopian.
Yeah, so he's one of the more interesting draft studies for this year. There's D1 Baseball has him ranked as the #3 prospect in college baseball. There's a ton to like about him, especially when you look at the bat-to-ball skills.
The short, the Sarah.
He just doesn't want you to talk about it.
No, he wants to hit a ground ball before I can get it. But like that's 106 mile an hour. It's the exit velocity combined with the very low chase and low miss rate. So he's got these contact skills, but he also has high exit velocities, which tends to translate into an elite hitter. But this year, really struggling with his ground ball rate up around 43% and just not getting the ball airborne quite as much as you'd like to see from somebody with that kind of impact.
Here's Jake Dewar at the plate. I want to follow up on that. So explain 43% ground ball rate. Where does that stack up?
So the league average is right around 40. So again, it's not like crazy high, but when you talk about an elite hitter, no elite hitter is ever trying to hit the ball on the ground. And so when your ground ball rate's elevated, you're clearly not going to get the most out of your ability to impact the ball. You can't hit homers, hit grounders, KP.
That's
and
true.
So
that's baseball 101.
You know, and you look at some of the underlying data that surrounds his issues of getting the ball in the air. Like, we'll just take Sorrell, for instance. Like the barrel rate for Caden Sorrell is up around 28%. Well, Hakopian's is like 14%. So he's just not getting the ball in the air at the level a guy like Sorrell is, who's hitting the ball out of the ballpark a bunch.
1-2 to Dewar.
And again, that barrel rate is anything hit from 10 degrees to 35 degrees. So essentially any ball that's hit well to the outfield. And to me, if I'm evaluating an elite hitter, I would want that guy to do that a lot, right? Sure. If you're an elite hitter, you're hitting the ball hard to the outfield a ton, at the very least above average. Well, average on Texas A&M is 22%. He's around 14, 15%. So I think that's the kind of the interesting dynamic with Akopian when you really study him as a prospect.
Is that an adjustment or a change you would see in season, or something that just needs a deep dive in the offseason?
Well, I think pro teams are going to ask themselves, do we think we can help him hit the ball in the air more? Because if he does, all the other traits are right there at the top of the class.
And if you don't, then you may still be a high pick, but you might end up like Dylan Cruz and back in AAA.
Yeah, well, some of those things could linger for sure.
Count to Dewar, drew a walk and scored last time off. And he rides this one the opposite way, but that one will fade foul.
Back to Akopian, it reminds me of a conversation I remember Alex Bregman talking about that he had with the Astros right after they drafted. And I don't know if it was as much of a conversation than a declaration of, we need you to hit the ball in the air.
Yeah.
We know you can impact the baseball, but this is the way that we play. We need you to hit the ball in the air. Well, it's worked out okay for him.
It's actually a great comp.
The point is, it can change.
Eighth pitch of the at-bat for Dewar. Walks have been an issue for Texas tonight.
I think one of the biggest differences there between Akopian and Bregman. Bregman was a world-class defender.
Yeah.
And I know you're not making a dead comp,
player comp.
But it is similar in that, really, if you look back at Bregman's junior year in college, he wasn't awesome offensively. He had like 9 home runs, I think. Now, a little different era there. But he was a world-class shortstop. You knew he was going to be a fantastic defender. He got to pro ball and he made that adjustment quickly. Started hitting the ball at the ballpark on a regular basis.
Here's Nico Partita, and he sends the first through the hole on the right side.
Partita can do it now.
Two walks. Whole lot of like on that one, too.
See, it sticks.
Yeah.
It sticks. I'm with you. There's a whole lot of like with Mr. Partita. How about a walk, a homer, a walk, and now a backside rocket? I mean, this kid is getting it done today. There's the shift. 3 infielders on the left side of the diamond. He takes a cutter and shoots it to the backside. There's some real polish with that youngster. I mean, he knows what he's doing up there.
It's Keel ahead in the count, 1-0. Only 1 hit in his last 26 at bats. Crossland delivers the 1-1. Oh my gosh. I was hoping it got the bill of the helmet, but I'm not so sure. Kaylee Swain is the athletic trainer for Texas A&M. And Keel on his feet. Use your ears on this one.
So glad to see him.
Lisa got a bunch of the helmet.
Yeah, Tommy and I did a game a couple weeks ago where it didn't work out so well for Stone Lawless.
Aggies have loaded the bases again. Last 2 innings, A&M has drawn 6 walks and had a hit back. Texas A&M 3rd in the country in strikeout to walk ratio. Jim Schlossnagle serenaded as he heads out to the mound for Crossland. Crossland done after 1 inning. A couple of walks and a K. Back in the ball. Third, a Boston Kellner routine fly ball to right field was anything but for Jaden Duplantier. Played it into a triple. Gavin Graholbeck followed with a rake double. We were off and running. In the 4th, Aggies were at it again. Nico Partita with his 10th home run of the season. And then in the 5th, Texas with the answer. Aiden Robbins goes Oppo Taco 2-run jack into the pen. One of 2 home runs that have ended up in the Texas bullpen. Graholbeck laces one into the corner. He ends up with a hustle triple and would score a moment later. And here's Jorian Wilson facing Ethan Walker. Michael Early's team has battled back from a couple of deficits tonight. Jim Schlossnagle's squad came in ranked number 2 in the country.
Walker, low slot lefty that hasn't worked long stints this year. He's off of the 13 time, just 10 and change.
Jorian Wilson struck out his first 2 trips to the plate. He was down in the count 0-2 last time up and ended up walking. Aggies not great wrist numbers tonight. And Wilson sends it to left field. It is caught, nearly misplay by Pack. And he's able to get it back in. Unscoring sac fly off the bat of the freshman Jorian Wilson.
Boy, just a beautiful piece of hitting right there by the young left-hander. And these Aggie freshmen just don't play like freshmen. This is what it looks like. Look, you got a low slot left-hander. You stay on it. You keep that front side in there. Look at keep that nose down and just a backside bullet, 105 miles an hour on a line out to left. The Aggies tack on another.
Walker gets it out, but allows a run. It's a two-run A&M advantage, and Texas going right back to the pen. Two on with two out for A&M. And in the sixth, Carson Tenney goes opposite field, 22 degrees off the bat and back into the bullpen. That was a two-out, two-run home run. Aggies slugged their way back into it. And that was after a sixth inning where Aggies scored 3 runs thanks to 5 walks. By the way, the visiting home runs that have gone into the visiting bullpen may just cause Michael Lurley to call a contractor and say, can we make that an 8-foot wall instead of a 3-foot wall?
Give me another 4 or 5 feet. We got a chance.
Here's Max Grubbs.
And Texas back to the bullpen for a guy that's been out there plenty this year, Max Grubbs. 4, sometimes 5 different pitches. Not a hit in inning. Fastball is going to be right around 90 miles an hour. Cutter, slider, curveball. Will throw a split every once in a while. Most of the time, just to left-handers.
Mayor Harrison drew one of those 5 walks in the last inning. His forced in a run. Partita at second and Keel at first. Off his foot. Maybe not his foot.
Oh,
No pad there.
See, most people go down on that, but when your name is Bear and you're a catcher, you act like it didn't even happen. Pretty good combo right there. Sinker on his knuckles, and slider to the edge.
Line saying protect against that fastball inside because I don't really want to do that again.
And it kicks away from Tenney all the way to the on-deck circle. Partita to third, and Keel follows him to second.
He's a catcher, man. When you get a breaking ball coming in, you know that thing's going to bounce off the dirt. It's just going to react the opposite way. Watch the top half of Tenney when he goes to block this. The top half is not rounded over the top and aimed directly at, in this case, you almost have to aim at the second baseman.
Yeah.
There's no chance to block that ball.
Got to get that left shoulder around and try to keep that ball right in front of you.
Popped him up. This is Larson. Aggies add another. We head to the 8th. It's a 2-run A&M lead. Take a trip around the country with our college baseball headlines. UCLA and Texas look to be the class of college baseball. Boston College reintroducing itself to the national storylines, and LSU bouncing back. Back-to-back series wins for the Fighting Tigers. Tell me about UCLA.
Well, they're in the 14th. They're just won in the 14th against Rutgers. The long-standing rivalry of UCLA and Rutgers in college baseball.
The proximity of the schools is what makes it so special.
About 25 wins in a row.
Pretty
not
impressive.
bad.
Yeah.
With 8 different offensive returners back from a team that went to Omaha last year.
I don't know that they're going to lose a conference game. I would put the odds better that they won't than that they will.
Really?
I mean, it feels like they're going to show up to Omaha with like an Oregon State 2017 record. So maybe they'll drop 1 or 2 somewhere, but
Plante pops it up. Harrison ditches the mask. 1 out in the 8th and a 2-run lead for the home team. Impressive. Corville gets another plate appearance. Came in as a pinch hitter in the 6th and laid down a sacrifice bunt.
Georgia Tech, Florida State, one of those premier matchups in the country. Georgia Tech won the opener last night on about the strangest walk-off double play we're going to see. Up 8-2 today, trying to win the first 2 against Florida State.
Do you think that's the first time in the history of the Republic Steakhouse that anyone has requested an ACC baseball game to be put on the monitor?
On both TVs. You put it on over there, too.
yeah. I'm going to say yes.
They found it.
Yep. Paired well with the cream corn. Thought that was strike 3. Jason Bradley disagreed.
Florida State has world-class pitching, but that offense, they're just not wired to win games in the 8, 9, 10 range without Miles Bailey.
Corfield does go down swinging. Second K for Clayton Freshcorn out of the pen.
Heartbeat's gone down a little bit on the mound since he's come into the ballgame. It's been a lot of strikes, and there the ability to elevate the fastball late to get his second strikeout since coming in.
So here's Mendoza. Talking earlier this game about the tutelage of Troy Tulowitzki and working with him at the plate and all the work he does with his Texas infield, especially Ashton Larson, talking about the work that he put in to help him get comfortable over at first base. And he said, this guy is unbelievable. He doesn't need to be here. He doesn't need the job. He just loves teaching the game of baseball and has a work ethic that is noticed by the players when he's out there working with you every minute.
Yeah, he takes his job very seriously. He's not some former big league all-star just kind of coaching a little ball. I mean, he is all in with this club. Brings the same attitude and focus and energy to coaching that he did as a player. He was some kind of player.
Anytime that Schloss talks about it, he just always talks about the way the players relate to him and react to him. And obviously, the defensive adjustments he's been able to help guys make on the infield, but offensively, they're just, whatever he says, they're all in.
Got him looking. 96 on the black for Freshcorn. He has set down 6 in a row.
You need that one guy. The one guy out of the bullpen that you can hand the ball to, and in this case when A&M got the lead, where the trust factor is as high as it is with this one guy. He struck out 3 of the 6 that he's faced. As Tommy said, he's set down 6 in a row. A&M with that 2-run lead as we go to the bottom of the 8th.
Let me tell you a story about when a rolling tide clashed with baseball royalty.
Both games were just two heavyweights going at it.
An SEC story film, Summer of '83, Wednesday at 8 p.m.
Texas and Alabama from Johnny Rosenblatt Stadium. And here at Bluebell Park, Dawson Kellner leads off the 8th inning. Texas A&M is 13-0 on the season in games when they lead after 8 innings of play. And that'll be the case tonight. First pitch strike to Kellner. However, in the 9th, Texas will have 2, 3, and 4 due.
Not sure how Abner knew that was always going to happen, but it just always does. 9th inning, 2, 3, 4, 9, 1, 2, like it just.
It happens 1 out of every 9 times.
It doesn't feel like that, Kyle.
Shift down the infield, straight away in the outfield. Max Grubbs is the 4th different reliever Jim Schlossnagle has called on tonight. Ruger Riojas gave him 5 innings in a bounce-back start. Full count. Kellner caught looking. Here's Gavin Grahovac.
Who's hotter right now, Grahovac or Tinney? Like who would you, KP? Who would you not want to face the most? Tinney or Grahovac right now? That's a long
There's
pause.
no right answer. I mean, there's certain questions you ask that you just don't answer them because there's not a right answer.
Choice C?
Yes. None of the above.
Think about this. Grahovac is top 10 in Aggie history in career home runs, and he only played 6 games last year. Season-ending surgery on a torn labrum in the left shoulder. And on a power surge. He's driven in 19, make it actually 21 now, in 13 league games.
It doesn't make sense that you would get hot once conference play starts, but we see this from time to time. Remember Ace Reese last year?
Yeah.
His numbers were better within the conference than outside the conference. So it's sometimes with some of these guys that are just world class, it doesn't really matter who's on the mound as much as where they're at in their own feels and rhythm as a hitter. Gavin Grahovac, I mean, it wouldn't shock me if he gets to 20 again, even though he got off to a slow start from a power standpoint. I'll tell you, he runs better than I thought he did too. Watching him on both the double.
Ball got down to
and
left field line. He could see it the whole time. He was thinking through it.
I'm just curious. You think the hot dog guy is going to run it back again tomorrow?
If they win, he has to.
What about the
right?
dude behind him?
I hope hot dog guy owns a bottle of
dog guy. And what do we call the dude behind him? Blue mask guy?
Yeah, concerning.
Top rope guy.
It's one of those with Grovac that he threw in the pitch earlier in the at, swung through and didn't look very good. And then he throw it again and you go,
got away with that.
I don't know if we're gonna. I don't know if we're going back there.
First you get your Aggie ring, then you pull on a hot dog costume. Back-to-back Ks for Grubbs.
I just am weirded out. Where's the mustard? Like, I mean, the ketchup. Is mustard more common than
ketchup on a hot dog?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
You just put mustard?
Well, he's got relish there. You just ignoring the relish?
I see. Yeah, I guess I see the relish now, but it feels like ketchup would be more standard than mustard.
How are we talking more about Superfly Snuka that's behind it? Because I mean that's.
I mean, they're both very interesting.
This ball is laced to right field. First hit of the game for Caden Sorrell, who's already got a couple of ripples.
Laced is right. How about 111 miles an hour? This ball's top spun, or it would have been on the train tracks. Caden Sorrell gets a first pitch breaking ball. Look at him gather, stay behind that baseball. A little scissor kick move there. Watch the back foot kind of kick backwards. And just a BB into right field. The first loud swing for Sorrell tonight. And
he relishes it.
Oh, wow. Really well done, Tom. Carson Timmy's had to block some baseballs.
Yes, he has.
Right on time. Two. You're wrong. Runner goes. Throw down to second. Tag got him on the backside. Sorrell wants a challenge. But Sarah came right across the bag and slapped it down. Let's see if he got it.
Texas A&M is challenging the call of out at second base. This play is under further review.
This is that up-the-line throw that almost always is correctly ruled. Now, that was a little closer than I thought. I remember as a base stealer, I always felt like I was safe if the throw was up the line, but it's amazing how the replay usually shows this. They get these right. But I don't know about that one. Yeah. Good job there at the end of kind of getting off to the side just enough to make the tag a little late. I don't know. Is that enough to overturn?
No, yeah, I think it is. I think it's safe. He didn't get him there. He got him a little bit later. I think strong.
I think you're right. This is the one right there. Cleared away in, Tom?
Sure.
After review, the call is overturned. The runner is safe.
Yeah, I have it safe.
Texas A&M retains their challenges. Still have 2 challenges remaining.
You're all over it, Tom.
Seventh bag for Sorrell.
Not me.
I don't really remember. Good job, Kyle.
Thank you.
Here's Chris Acopi. A&M sitting on a 2-run lead. Texas has 2 different frames where they've scored 2. That was in the 5th and 6th. have one win this season when they trailed after 8. That came against Oklahoma in extras. Ashton Larson won that one for the night. Two to Hakopian. Third, Borba. Low, and it gets away, and here comes the run. Throw to second is in time, but the run obviously scored before the third out. And that may prove to be the difference in what has been a back-and-forth game. Tenney, Robbins, and Pack due up for Texas. Last chance for the Longhorns, down by 3. Tonight's extra effort brought to you by Regions Bank. Is the 12th man.
They brought it. Knew they would tonight. I'm feeling they will tomorrow, and they will the following day as well.
6-8-0 the line for Texas, 9-7-0 for Texas A&M. Aggies perfect 13-0, taking a lead to the night. It'll be Carson Tenney, Aiden Robbins, and Anthony Pack Jr. due up for Texas here in the 9th inning. And Tenney with an opposite field home run his last time up, pair with 3 walks. Robbins has a 2-run shot to his name. What about Freshcorn tonight?
Strikes and strikes. And it's not like elite off the chart stuff, but it's a ton of strikes. He's pitching ahead.
Command has been really good too. I mean, he hadn't thrown too many pitches in the middle part of the plate. That's a breaking ball right on the edge.
And one off the edge. Swing and a miss for Tenney. Third consecutive K for Clayton Freshcorn.
Picking the slider up. I mean, even the ones that are hittable, they haven't been offering that. This one's a good one. That's where you want it in a plus count with 2 strikes, just to see if you can chase, because you're not going to get to it.
Here's Aiden Robbins, and he rides this one to center field. Back Sorrell at the wall. It's gone. Aiden Robbins will try to start another Texas party. 1-out solo shot. Second of the night for the Philly kid.
That is one bad dude right there. I mean, Oppo into Central tonight. Just incredible the year he is putting together for the Longhorns. And he is getting it done on the weekends as well as anybody. I mean, what a performance he has put on tonight.
Pack's got a team-high 7-game hit streak going after his 7th inning single. All 3 games last year at Austin came down to the final at bat, and Pack drives this one to right field. Wilson turned around. Back-to-back jacks for Texas. and a one-run game in the ninth. And how massive was the error that allowed an extra run to come across in the eighth for A&M?
I'd say they're seeing a slider a little bit different because each one of those last two home runs saw a slider.
Wow. Well, that changed things quickly, and you called it, Tommy. The error at the end of last inning, or we got ourselves a brand new ball game. But things just got a little hard to breathe here at Bluebell Park.
.35 pitches for Freshcorn. Jason Kelly out. And for Texas A&M, Weston Moss is getting loose. What goes into the decision to stick with Freshcorn or turn it over to Moss?
I think at this point it's still Freshcorn's game. You get a couple guys on, maybe you go down to Moss. I mean, ideal scenario if you're A&M, and I know this is the second time that Moss has already been up, but if you can avoid putting him in the game, you still got a chance to start in game 3. Or you just say, you know what, at this point, he's already been up twice. He's coming out of the bullpen all weekend. And if they need him tonight, he's coming in, and they're getting close to him.
Casey Borba is 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts. First pitch slider?
Yes.
Over at third, Partita. 2 down.
Pretty good play over there. Just give ground enough, give yourself just a little bit more time, and know that the arm strength is enough to get it across the diamond.
th meeting between Texas and Texas A&M. And a first pitch strike to Becerra. Freshcorn's 40th pitch.
That was as good as any breaking ball he's thrown in the ball game. So that's a good sign if you're an Aggie fan. That was perfectly executed breaking ball to the edge.
It feels like you're going to see it again right here.
The 1-2 just up.
Blue mask guy disagrees.
2-2 pitch. Popped him up. Kellner drifts back. Shortstop handles it, but not without some drama. And drama will be the key word all weekend as Texas A&M takes game number 1 against its rival.
It feels like all year when Texas gets the lead, goes to the bullpen and go to their best guys in the bullpen, they're going to hold on and win the ball game. This is a great sign for A&M to fight back at home, and then have enough out of that bullpen to hold on and win a really important game 1.
Well, last year in this rivalry, Texas won 3 one-run games. Today, the Aggies fight back with a 1-run lead. An excellent ball game, a bunch of lead changes, very entertaining. I think it's going to be a good one all weekend.
2 home runs in the 9th inning. Got Texas back in the game, but the error in the bottom of the 8th gave the Aggies just enough wiggle room. A&M comes back from a 2-run deficit to put together a 9-8 win and outlast Texas in the 380th meeting between these rivals. So for our crew, led by producer Billy Palladino, and with Chris Burke and Kyle Peterson up top. Art, we got another one tomorrow on ESPN2. Freshcorn closes the door, picks up the save, Darden the win. Game 2 tomorrow afternoon here at Bluebell. It's time now for SEC Now.